3 islands. 3 unsolved mysteries. Dolls that shouldn't be there. Graves beneath your feet. And a lighthouse that went silent forever. This is Somber Midnight Stories. We weren't supposed to be there. Officially, the island is closed. No ferries. No tours. No overnight stays. But that never stopped anyone who's watched too much Ghost Adventures. My name is Claire, and this is what happened the night my boyfriend and I stepped onto Poveglia Island. Luca and I have always been into haunted locations. Abandoned hospitals, cemeteries, places people avoid after dark. But Poveglia is different. During the Black Death, ships brought the infected here, not to treat them, to isolate them. And when they died, their bodies were burned. Some historians say more than half the soil on that island is human ash. Later, they built a psychiatric hospital there. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. The story says the head doctor performed brutal experiments, crude lobotomies, unethical procedures. Eventually, he claimed he was seeing shadows, hearing voices. He said the plague victims were still there. One day, he climbed the bell tower and jumped. Some versions say he survived the fall. And something finished the job. Urban legend. Probably. That's what I thought at 9:47 p.m. when our rented boat hit the broken dock. Then I smelled it. Smoke. Not thick. Not visible. Just faint. Like something had burned there long ago and never stopped. "There's no one here," Luca whispered. The hospital looked hollow. Windows like empty eye sockets. The air felt heavy. Not humid. Heavy. Like pressure building in your chest. We walked down the main corridor. Our footsteps echoed too long. Then I heard it. A cough. Dry. Close. I froze. "Did you hear that?" He nodded. Silence. Then something scraped across the floor deeper inside the building. Metal on concrete. That's when my legs started to feel wrong. Not weak. Heavier. Like walking through water. Luca later said he felt pressure on his shoulders. Like hands resting there. The smell of burning got stronger. But there was no fire. We reached the stairwell to the bell tower. The temperature dropped. And then I heard it. Not in my ears. Inside my head.
"Go back."
I stopped. "Did you just say that?" he asked. I shook my head. He went pale. I heard it too. We kept climbing. Halfway up, his flashlight flickered. Then dimmed. At the top, the lagoon was completely black. For a moment, everything was still. Then I saw something in the courtyard below. A shape. Darker than the dark around it. Standing still. Facing us. The smell hit full force. Sweet. Burnt. And the voice came again.
"Leave."
This time it wasn't calm. It felt angry. Luca grabbed my arm. "We're done." Getting back to the dock felt harder than walking in. Like the island didn't want us leaving. The weight on my shoulders grew stronger with every step. When we finally pushed the boat away, I looked back. I shouldn't have. Near the hospital entrance, there were shapes. More than one. not moving, just watching. And near the bell tower, a figure stood at the edge, like it was about to jump. We never uploaded the footage. Most of it was corrupted. But in one clip, under our voices, you can hear faint coughing. We didn't hear it that night. Now sometimes, when the room is completely quiet, I smell smoke, and I feel that weight again, like hands resting on my shoulders, waiting. My brother Daniel has always chased places most people avoid. Abandoned hospitals, desert ghost towns, back roads at night. Last year, he went to Mexico alone. Not for the beaches, not for the resorts. He went looking for an island hidden inside the canals of Xochimilco, a place tourists visit during the day. But he wanted to see it at dusk. The island of the dolls. Decades ago, a man named Don Julian lived there alone. He claimed he found the body of a drowned girl tangled in the reeds. Floating nearby was her doll. He hung the doll from a tree as a sign of respect. But later, he said the girl's spirit never left. He believed it attached itself to the doll. For the next 50 years, he collected discarded dolls. From trash piles, from canals, from markets. He nailed them to trees, hung them by their necks, let them rot in the humidity. Hundreds of them, missing eyes, cracked faces, detached limbs. And in 2001, Don Julian drowned in the exact same canal where he said he found the girl. That part is real. Daniel hired a local boatman to take him there late in the afternoon. The deeper they moved into the canals, the quieter it got. When Daniel mentioned staying past sunset, the boatman warned him. Not about ghosts, about people. Some outer canal areas aren't safe at night. There have been robberies. Locals don't always welcome outsiders wandering after dark. Daniel thought the dolls would be the unsettling part. He was wrong. When the island appeared, it didn't look dramatic at first. Just trees. Then he saw the shapes hanging. Faces. Everywhere. They weren't arranged neatly. They were scattered, twisted into branches, bound with wire. He stepped onto the island just as the sun dipped behind the trees. The first thing he noticed was the smell. Wet wood, mud, something sweet and rotten. The wind moved through the branches. The dolls moved with it. Not dramatically, just slight turns, small rotations. He started hearing something that didn't match the wind. Plastic brushing against plastic, close to his ear. But nothing touched him. There's a small shack still standing there. That's where Don Julian lived. Daniel stepped inside. More dolls. Not hanging. Sitting. Watching. One was facing the wall when he entered. When he turned back toward the door, it was tilted slightly toward him. He's certain it wasn't like that before. He left quickly after that. By the time he reached the dock, it was almost dark. The boatman wasn't sitting where he had been earlier. He was standing, watching the island. Daniel noticed something else. The dolls near the water were facing outward, toward the canal, toward him. He doesn't remember them positioned like that before. On the ride back, he asked if people ever rearrange them. The boatman shook his head. They move. Daniel laughed. The boatman didn't. That night, in his hotel, Daniel found mud on the back of his shirt. A small handprint, centered between his shoulder blades. He washed it off. A week later, back home, he unpacked his bag. Inside was something he never picked up. A small plastic doll arm, broken at the shoulder, weathered. He threw it away immediately. That same night, he woke up at 3:12 a.m. because he heard something. A faint tapping. Hollow. Plastic against wood. Slow. Rhythmic. He checked every room. Nothing. When he returned to bed, his closet door was open. He never leaves it open. He hasn't traveled alone since. The island is still there. Tourists still visit during the day. They take pictures. They laugh. But locals don't stay after sunset. Not because of the drowned girl. Not because of Don Julian. Because too many people leave that island feeling like something followed them. And sometimes, when my brother talks about it, he pauses, like he's listening for something behind him. If you ever visit the Island of the Dolls, go during the day. And if you see one facing the wrong direction, don't fix it. When the relief ship reached Black Hollow Island, the lighthouse was dark. It wasn't supposed to be. 3 men were stationed there for the winter. Thomas Calder, Elias Ward, Samuel Boone. The boat circled once, waiting for a signal flare. None came. No one stood at the dock. No movement near the tower. No light from the lantern room. The captain assumed they were late, maybe asleep. But when he stepped onto the island, the silence felt wrong. The main door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked orderly. Beds neatly made. Oil lamps cleaned and refilled. Dishes washed and stacked. In the kitchen, 2 plates sat on the table. Bread partially sliced. Stew cold in the pot. A chair lay on its side. 1 clock had stopped. The others were still ticking. 2 heavy coats were missing. 1 remained on the hook, which meant at least one of the men stepped outside without protection in the middle of December. The logbook was found open on the desk. The handwriting grew unstable in the final entries. Unusual winds. Boone says he hears something below the cliffs. Ward restless. The final line, dated December 23rd. Storm worsening. Calder quiet. Ward praying. After that, nothing. Weather reports later showed no major storm that week. Outside, the western cliff showed damage. A heavy iron supply box had been displaced. Nearly 30 feet. The crane was twisted. The official explanation was simple. A rogue wave. The men must have gone out together to secure equipment, and the ocean took them. But some details didn't fit. Why would all 3 leave at once? Why was 1 coat still hanging inside? And why were only 2 plates set for dinner? Fishermen later reported something else. A light, smaller than the lighthouse beam, moving along the cliffs at night. Too low to be a ship, too steady to be lightning. Just walking. Black Hollow Island had always carried a reputation. Sailors avoided its western side. They said birds rarely landed there. Some claimed that on calm nights, voices could be heard from beneath the rock. Not echoes, not wind, something deeper. One deckhand described a knocking sound coming from inside the cliff face, as if something hollow ran through the island. The disappearance of Calder, Ward, and Boone remains officially classified as lost at sea. No bodies were recovered. No debris washed ashore. Just an empty lighthouse with 2 plates on a table and 1 chair knocked over. If 3 men vanished that night, someone or something was still there to finish dinner. Even the darkest stories leave something behind. Stay with me. There are more stories